Atman means pure consciousness, and being pure consciousness, it is infinite. Infinite means infinite. Infinite doesn't mean very big. Normally when you think of infinite, you think of, say, ocean, or you think of sky. You may think of universe. But you forget that whether it be ocean or sky or the universe, they are all finite. Atman is infinite. It's not a concept, it's not an idea. It is exactly what different sages have seen in the depths of their meditation. And mind it, these Upanishads were written at different periods of time, and they were composed by different sages who were separated in the landmass, and yet they are all talking of the same thing. There have been very great scholarly work on the Upanishads, where they talk about early Upanishads, then medieval Upanishads, then later Upanishads. So, some Upanishads were composed earlier, some later, and yet you find that they are all talking of the same thing. What? Atman is pure consciousness, pure knowledge, and it is infinite. And how it defines infinity? It says that anything which is a compound is not infinite. If a thing is compound, it cannot be infinite. Now, how do you know a thing is compound? You may just claim that a thing is not compound. For example, say mind. You can say that my mind is infinite. You can say that mind is soul. And actually many people confuse, persons like Roger Penrose and all, when they are talking about consciousness, they are confusing mind with Atman. Hindu philosophers made very simple rules to differentiate between the finite and the infinite. They say that a thing is finite if it undergoes 6 changes. There are 6 fundamental changes. The first one is known as birth. It has to be born. That means before its birth, it was non-existent. So it comes into existence only after it was born. And because it's born, it exists. You can see its existence. How? Through your 5 senses or through your extended senses, like telescope and microscope, you can see. And it grows. At the time of birth, it may not have been used. With time, it grows. And you find transformation in it. It changes. For example, milk changes into curd. A child, he grows up to become an adult. Things change. Water changes into ice. And ice and water, they change into steam. They are continuously changing. That is the nature of compound. And decay sets in. A time comes, there is a decay. And finally, it gets destroyed. It becomes non-existent. Now, if you look at human birth, we human beings, same thing. We undergo these 6 changes. So, the Sanskrit word for it is Shad Vikar, 6 changes. Shad Vikar. Shad means 6, Vikar, transformations. The 6 transformations characterize compound. Anything which is compound is finite. And anything which is finite cannot be Atman. Atman is non-finite. Atman is not a compound. And hence Atman doesn't undergo any of these 6 changes.